All four shook their heads. Good. Dragstrip and Dead End will finish the guard shift. But Dead End began, and Motormaster cut him off. Breakdown will bring you back Energon before quickly returning to our quarters with mine. He headed for the door, snagging Wildrider on the way. No way was he leaving the wingnut unsupervised around the prisoner. And do not touch the prisoner. It's too late for that. Too much more and we might kill him. And that takes us right back to listening to Starscream bitch and me having to deal with Megatron. Move it, Breakdown! Dead End stood leaning against the wall just outside the Autobot's cell and frowned at his recharging teammate. Of course, Dragstrip would recharge, leave the responsibility all to Dead End, and take credit for a shift completed. Nervous, Dead End glanced over the controls. They'd been ordered to leave the Energon bars off, but he didn't like it. Sure, Mirage was chained up and couldn't escape, and Megatron was right. It was a waste of energy they didn't have a surplus of, but it still bothered Dead End. Every now and then, the chains would rattle as the spy shifted, and every time Dead End would twist around to be sure Mirage was still where he was supposed to be. He was really tempted to just turn on the bars. Dragstrip was really out. But no, someone would notice the draw on power, and then they'd be in trouble. Well, Dead End would be in trouble. Dragstrip wouldn't waste a nanoclick in saying he hadn't wanted to do it, and then would tease Dead End for being a neurotic coward. Of course, Dragstrip might get in trouble for recharging on the job, but, well, no. Dead End would get in trouble for not waking his teammate. Dead End sighed. There was no winning here. Winning? The chains rattled a little and Dead End turned, cursing himself he needs to dead, but this time was different. The chains swung empty from the ceiling. Ghost open. Oh, fuck. You know that moment when you have a spider in a jar and you look over and the jar's still closed, but the spider's not there? Yeah, it's kind of like that. The chains that had been locked around Mirage's ankles were open and slack on the floor. Dead End gasped, his mouth opening to call out to Dragstrip, when he felt an invading hand shoved into a gap in his side armor. Fingers shifted and found the medical override circuit for motor control. How did you get out? Dead End whispered, voicing only one of the dozens of frantic thoughts running through his processors. Maglocks can only take so much current. Are you saying their constant rape of him caused the cuffs to open? Because that would be hilarious. Dead End's motor control was stolen. The invisible mech laid him out on the floor, only being gentle so that Dragstrip wouldn't be disturbed by the noise. Ghostly hands searched, quick, efficient, found another override control. I'm so slagged, Dead End thought, and then it was all dark as he was sent into a force stasis lock. What do you mean he's gone? Sorry, no, that's totally wrong. What do you mean he's gone? Megatron roared in Dragstrip's face. The Combaticon cringed, all bravado for once absent. He's just... Shut up! Megatron's punch sent Dragstrip flying back to crash against the far wall. Fools! Can none of you do a single thing right? The tyrant cast his glare all around the brig and eyed all the mechs present before turning back to Dragstrip. Where's Dead End? Motormaster held out a piece of shiny deep red metal. It was by the cell door. Can't reach him on comms. Can't get to him through the Gestalt link either. He's functioning, Motormaster shrugged, and when it became apparent Megatron wasn't going to take the piece of Dead End's armor, he tucked it in subspace. Megatron growled low and deep within his chest and opened a channel of sound wave. Lock the base down! No one enters or leaves until the spy is recaptured. I want multiple, reliable guards in the Energon storage room. I will be into the control room soon. Acknowledged. Soundwave's monotone was heard. Motormaster held himself still as Megatron stepped close and glared down at him. You and your team will search the ship until the Autobot is found. You will not recharge or refuel until you bring him to me. And do not for a moment think that this will be your only punishment for this failure. Motormaster scowled right back but nodded. What are you waiting for? Go! Megatron thundered. Starscream crossed his arms over his chest and watched the Thundercons left the brig. Get ready for the bitching. He'll need to refuel soon. I spoke to Hook, and he only gave Mirage a small transfusion, just enough to keep him functioning after doing a few necessary repairs. Yes, but what you don't know is Mirage is secretly a vampire, and he will rip open your veins and suck the blood, and then he'll lay an Alucard one-liner, and it will be sweet. Megatron growled again, and Starscream held up a hand and dropped his gaze to the floor. I'm not trying to argue your decisions, just point out that the Autobot must be hungry, and fuel will be a priority over escape. Have you looked in the cell? He purged his tanks at some point, and that wasn't in Vortex's report. Such a minor detail, Starscream. Why would he? Megatron turned and began the trek to the control room. Vortex takes pride in his abilities. He was pleased with his progress. Pleased? Megatron turned and Starscream stopped short, backpedaling, hands coming up in unconscious defense. He's a spy. Special operatives are trained to take the kind of punishment Mirage received. You can't expect him to break in a day. Whoa, whoa, whoa. They're trained? How? When? Wait a minute. What is that? How is he trained to endure this kind of thing? What are you... Optimus, what the fuck? Okay, moving on. Megatron snarled wordlessly. He snarled just like that, and spun back around, stomping heavily. How long, then? Starscream sighed and followed. He considered for a moment. I hesitate to guess now. It would depend on whether his successful escape gives him hope, or his recapture steals it. Megatron frowned, entering the control room. Once he's recaptured, we will batter him with everything we have. This is too good an opportunity to pass up. He waited until Starscream nodded and continued. I want everyone searching. Find him! Starscream turned away and, for once, obeyed without argument. Look at this, Bludgeon said and bent down. Swindle raised an optic ridge and plucked the small clamp from the other Decepticon's hand. This belongs to Vortex. Are you sure? Swindle chuckled. I acquired them for him. He looked around at the floor and ran his fingers along the wall. Keep an eye out for more. Vortex doesn't just leave these lying around, so that means Mirage had to have come this way. Maybe there's a trail. Pits, I hope there's a trail. I'm so bored of having to trapeze around the base looking for an invisible mech. We've been at this for 4 hours now. Oh, I don't know why you're laughing, because you haven't found it either. Vortex said he was really low on energon. It's been 2 whole days, so he's probably in stasis like somewhere. Oh, it's been 2 days? I thought it'd just been a few hours. I mean, I can't even get into energon storage right now. I doubt some Autobot's gonna slip past the guards. Everyone would know what it meant if the damn door opened and closed on its own. Again, I don't remember exactly what Swindle sounds like, so sorry if I get his voice totally wrong. Swindle sighed and turned. His mouth was open, ready to ask Bludgeon if he had seen anything else, but the other Decepticon was gone. Bludgeon? Lazy slagger. Don't think I won't report you for ditching out on me. Swindle walked back the way he'd come. It's not like there were any more places the other mech could hide. And that would not really be normal for Bludgeon anyway. He kicked the scrap of metal before seeing it. Bending to pick it up, Swindle was already fairly certain of what he was looking at. Green armor plating. It looked to be from Bludgeon's arm, where his model had the medical uplinks. Bludgeon? Swindle called out loud and through the internal comm on the other's personal frequency. Bludgeon, answer me! Nothing. Swindle to Megatron. Have you found him? Afraid not. But Bludgeon's gone. I got a piece of his armor here in my hands. What? Swindle winced, the volume of Megatron's bellow over his comlink. Sorry, boss. One click he was behind me, discussing one of Vortex's torture clamps we found, and the next he was just gone. Swindle shrugged, even though Megatron could not see him. Seriously, I turned my back for a couple nanoclicks and walked farther down the hall looking for more clamps. That Bludgeon was right there with me. Wasn't a single sound. No fight, nothing. You could hear Megatron's angry growl building over the comm and rushed on. At first I thought he just wandered off, but we're up here on level 5, and there's really nowhere he could have gone. Swindle stopped and looked around. Hey boss, I think I'm gonna come down. Might be a bad idea to be alone up here. The link cut, but not fast enough for Swindle to miss the door. Said, Coward! Megatron snarled. Swindle kept his optics moving, head swiveling around and sensors on full as he headed back to the lift. There was nothing, though. No sounds. Nothing to see but purple-gray walls. There weren't even any sensor ghosts or blips of radar. The lift was still on his level 2, so no one had gone down. Swindle didn't want to be afraid, but he could be honest with himself. He was spooked. So when the lift doors closed, he stayed close to the control panel and hurried off when he reached the command deck, anxious to get back to a more populated area. What the slag is your problem? Dragstrip drew up short at Motormaster's angry question. And what he had to tell wasn't going to make his team leader any happier. Breakdown's gone. There was a pause where even Wild Rider stood still and stared at Dragstrip. He was right behind me, 2 corridors over, and then gone. This wasn't the place I saw him standing. He held out a bent silvery gray panel cover. Motormaster rushed back the way Dragstrip had come, shouting over his shoulder. And instead of blasting the hallway and hitting the invisible bot, you ran away like a coward. I'm not a coward, Dragstrip snapped back, hurrying to follow with Wild Rider snickering behind him. He was gone. And, oh wise and wonderful leader, I would have hit Breakdown too. Motormaster rounded the last corner and fired down the hall. Slagger! Thrust yelled. Thrust and Dirge were both lying on the floor now, having only just enough time to duck in the wild battery of shots. Pit spawn, glitching, frag-minded bit-brain moron! Dirge roared as he climbed back to his feet. You want to explain shooting at me, unprovoked, you overgrown, ground-punching Optimus wannabe? Wait, was Motormaster the one Optimus disguised himself as in that one episode? Is that what he's referring to? Because that's a kind of a confused insult. Motormaster fired again, only missing because Thrust grabbed Dirge's shoulder vent and jerked him out of the way. Mirage was just in this hall, idiot. We saw Dragstrip around the corner just as we entered, Thrust said. Mirage isn't and hasn't been here. Just us. He's invisible! Motormaster raged back, trigger finger twitching with the desire to shoot the jet. Shoot the jet.